All right, folks. I got a fan going. It's pretty warm in the house tonight. I'm a few minutes off schedule. My arm on my light thing and stuff didn't work, and we're going to see what we can do here. This is to use for my polymer clay. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. I'm a jewelry and a canvas artist. We're going to be working on polymer clay cabochons, and I had already started a couple here, which are actually pretty cool. Hi, Christopher. Welcome in. So these were made with a mold, a polymer clay mold, which you can use in the oven, but I will not be using this in the oven. I will actually be transferring these onto this here, and then I will put that into, we're going to get this over where you can see this, into that oven you see in the back there, that toaster oven. Hello, Yellow Ball 69. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. We're going to be doing some polymer clay jewelry here. The basic steps of making and then baking it. And then from there, we're going to seal it. And when I seal it, I'm either going to use resin, which will be an RV resin. I'm trying to find everything. I had to unplug everything in order to set everything up in here tonight. So I apologize. This is a new studio, by the way. Hi, Lindsay. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, Gata. Hi, John. Hi, Glen Art. We're not taking 8 boxes tonight, folks, because I'm doing the polymer clay cabochons. So welcome in, everybody. Hi, Melody. Welcome in. Hi, ATLD. Welcome in. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. Probably already tells you who I am. I was trying to get, what do you call it? Whoops. Folks, don't forget to tap, like, and share. I really appreciate it. Welcome in, user. Hi, Dennis at Evenstar. Welcome in, everybody. Don't forget to tap, like, and share. If this is your first time here, I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. I'm a jewelry and a canvas artist. I went to use my arm for my camera tonight and found out that it's missing a bolt. So I won't be using that. So we're going to get this down here in just a minute. I'm going to set up my tablet here and try to get it going. It's unfortunately my tablet went on the blip and I didn't know it. When we get ready to bake these here, which is what we're going to do, we're going to end up putting these cabochons. I'm going to try to make it so you can see it. We're going to put these cabochons on this here, on this tile. And they're going to go here. And then I will place them in the oven. I am using a mixed polymer clay. So I'm using everything from Sculpey to Kato clay. It all depends on your preference. I have more expensive clays like Cernet, which are really great to work with if you're doing jewelry. Hi, Brandon. Hi, Source. Hi, Ronnie Jones. Hi, Benson. Look, if I get some of your names wrong, please forgive me. I'll do the best I can, and I'll try to see everyone while I'm trying to do this. Hi, Hippie, Mimey. Welcome in. I'm not doing any boxes. Hi, Hippie again. Hi, Spice. Hi, Benson. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. We're going to be doing some polymer clay work here tonight and turning these cabochons into some really nice pieces of jewelry. Normally I work also with gemstones, everything from labradorite to amethyst. So I'm still looking for stuff in my new studio, in my new place where I'm living. So I am still missing things, like I found my Dremel tips so that I wouldn't have to use a file when I have to go sand this tonight, but I'm going to have to because I can't find my Dremel. It's packed somewhere. Hi, John. Hi, Monica. Hi, Benson. Hi, Gintu. Hi, Daisy D. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Folks, don't forget to tap, like, and share. And it really helps, too, if you can give me a heart. You're able to do that. That would be great. Hi, Nora. Welcome in. Okay, so I'm going to get this camera over on where I'm working so you can see what I'm doing, because I'm going to be doing more than one of these. It's going to be several of these polymer clays. And then I'm going to transfer them over to the toaster oven that I just showed you, because you really don't, let me tell you, you do not want to bake polymer clay in your oven unless you have to. At least from everything I've heard. So I do it in a toaster oven. Hi, Alex. Hi, Boise Cole. Hi, Floyd. I'm trying to say hi to everyone. If I miss you, I apologize. Please don't forget to tap, like, and share. I don't know how they expect us to be interactive and do quality videos here. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Joshua. Hi, John. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Getting ready to do some really nice creations here. This is a mold I used. Sometimes I don't use a mold, but it's easier. And we're going to make more than one set of cabs, but we're going to start with these, which is a mixture of Kato and Sculpey. And then this is a textured one I did. And then this one is actually made with, and I'm afraid that it might be cracking a little bit because of the type of clay. It is I'll show you right here. It's like a clear clay. Looks like somebody got filtered in the comments. As long as you don't say anything really bad, I don't see why you should be filtered. I'm not quite sure why that is. Oh, come on now. What is going on here? Hold on, folks. This thing is trying to sell me live points and stuff and all kinds of things here. I do not know why. Folks, don't forget to tap, like, and share. It really helps with the algorithm. Brings other people in so that I can do this art. That'll be awesome. I'm glad to hear that. TQ, cool. Glad to hear you're doing good and feeling good. Well, I'm so glad to have you here tonight, everybody. So I really appreciate you coming in. Hi, Milk Marie 151. I can't do any guests or boxes because of what I'm doing. Hi, Mad as something. I hope you have a good day too. And welcome in. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. I'm a jewelry and a canvas artist, and we're getting ready to pop in some cabochons that I made, and later I'm going to show you, I'm going to start making them while these are in the oven. And then we're going to not only seal them, but we are also going to try some different textures and change them up. Like I have vintage gold here. This is a paste you can use on polymer clay, by the way. You don't want to do it until after you bake it, unless you're going to mix it in pre. And then we're going to use luminaire, and this is a halo violet color, and I'm going to use that on the bright red one I just showed you. Please, folks, remember to tap, like, and share, and invite more people here. I'd love to have it. Too cool. Thank you so much. It's going to look really good. Hey, Mark, I'm so glad to see you. Thank you. As you can see, I went to try, just to let you know, Mark, I was so excited to use this tonight because I found it, and it's missing a screw. Of course, that only happens, right, when you're in a new place and you can't find anything. So, Mark, we're working on some cabochons here. And these are getting ready to go in the little toaster oven I brought in here in my studio room. And I'm going to lift you up so that you can see the toaster oven over there. And then I'll put you back here because I'm going to, if I can get it over there where you can see it. Can everybody see that even? I can't see it. There we go. There is the toaster oven, folks. That's what we're going to put the cabochons in. And we're going to pray it doesn't set off my fire alarm because of the heat in this back room. Thank you so much. You're awesome. All right, so let's work on getting these into the oven. Let me see if I can raise you up so you can see what I'm doing. And then we're going to put the camera down on my desk and I will be showing you more cabochons that I'll be making as soon as I find the oven again for you to see. Okay. Can everybody see that oven? That's where the cabochons are going. And you can purchase like a towel. I'm working on a larger towel, but this towel is to go in the oven. You really don't want to put them down into a pan or even on tinfoil. And by the way, I'm going to use tinfoil over the top of this tile so that these cabochons will bake. And they will bake 15 to 20 minutes at 275 to 300. But I'm going to start with 250 because I have not used this oven in a while and it's been traveling. We'll just say it's been traveling. And we're going to put this in the oven, everybody. As soon as I can get myself out of here. I bought a new rug carpet thing for under my chair. And of course it doesn't roll unless you get up and slide it. I know I'm a little chunky, but I'm not that chunky. So how's everybody doing tonight? Welcome in, welcome in. Don't forget to tap, like, and share. It really helps with the algorithm. We're going to be doing some pretty neat stuff here. I promise you it'll be fun. So I thought I'd just share the baking process with you because it's an important part of making polymer clay cabochons. Unless you're buying them from somebody already made. So we're going to open this right here. I hope you can see me. And I'm pulling this out. Okay. I'm putting this down in the bottom of the tray. As I said, it's going to be 250 to 275. It does say, one says 300, the other one says 275. So we're going to do 250 to be safe. And luckily, this thing has a timer. And I'm trying to make a little, if you don't know what I'm doing, I'm trying to make like a little Eskimo thing for this so that this will protect the polymer clay. Welcome in, everybody. Don't forget to tap, like, and share. This is a live event. This event is scheduled for 2 hours, so this is not a short event. But if you come in to learn and have fun, then that's what I'm here for. Alright, this should work. Anybody that cooks, any man or woman who's a cook, knows that what? If you don't want something to burn, you cover it in foil on the top. You don't leave them open. I've seen people put them in open, they forget about them or something, and then their cabs burn. Okay. Stop. Okay, so we're going to do that. I'm going to set this for 20 minutes. this might help if I plug it in. Sorry folks, I forgot and unplugged it because I was testing it earlier. As you can see, my cat in the window is trying to help. She's going to supervise me as I do this. We'll hope supervision isn't really needed by her. Okay. Let me put it on 250. These black knobs, I think I need to paint them to be easier. Okay, I've set it for 20 minutes at 250. And so in 20 minutes, these should be ready to come out of here. And if I have to, I'll have to go get a heat pad, which I didn't bring in here. So that I can grab them out of the oven without burning my hand. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. I'm a jewelry and a canvas artist. And we are in the process of baking Polymer Clay Cabochons. Okay. Wow, that thing looks like it's really cooking, doesn't it? This should be a learning experience. You guys see that? It's nice, bright and red. Hey, Sherry, welcome in. Or Anna, welcome in. Oh, Anna, thank you, Sherry. She's welcoming someone in for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the taps and likes. I'm hoping, I forgot, I'm not on the YT, so I can't use my other tablet. This is the reason I want to start using OBS and stuff, so that I can be able to see my screen. Okay. So the oven is holding 1, 2, 3 medium, small to medium cabochons, and I've used black, red, and the black and the red and the Cato, two of them. The Cato, one's Cato, one is Sculpey. The black is Sculpey, and the red is Cato. So about 20 minutes, and we will see how they're doing. I'm going to keep my eye on them. That thing was really lit up, by the way. It was bright red. Okay. So, how's everybody doing tonight? I'll try to look back and forth because I know. Thank you, Sherry. Sherry, do you have permission to control my room? Because you should. Thank you so much. Oh, good. Awesome. Because I'm in a little bit of a hips here. Look, here's what I got, Sherry. See the new arm that I put up? I was so happy to find the bottom piece. There's a screw missing. I'm going to have to order a screw for it. That figures, right? Anything that can go wrong, it's called Murphy's Law, will go wrong. Okay. So I've got a spray bottle here. It's not only to mandate and control my kitty, but also what? To wet my clay if necessary. I'm going to also be taking this right here. Can everybody see this? Is everybody able to see what this is? This is called Metallic Q, and it's wax creation. It's vintage gold. I don't know. There we go. Wow. Hasn't been opened in a while, but it's gold. And so we're going to use this. I'm going to go ahead and do a few more cabochons here. I'm going to do black ones, and I'm going to use the mold for right now. And usually, I meant to show you that, folks, before I put that in the oven, like this right here. Well, Maybe it's gone. There we go. This is a digital calibrator, and this way you can measure what size your cabochons are. It's blipping, but it does normally work. Okay, so it was 50 millimeters. Anybody know how many inches 50 millimeters is? Usually polymer clay should be about 1/4 of an inch to bake 15 to up to 30 minutes. It just depends on the thickness. These are a little bit thicker, so I set them on 20 minutes. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you, Sherry, for helping me out. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the people who tap. It's really a cool, this is actually a really cool item to have, and they're not that expensive. I lost the little cap, of course. Leave it to me, something falls off. But you can get these for less than like $10 online. So they're really nice to have because you can also, like, these are malachite, and they are supposed, well, see, I can't read the size of this bead, just to let you know. It's not just for doing the cabochons clay, but also for this. Give me just a second here as I try to get this open. Okay, got it open. Yay! Yay! These are really tiny, but they are gorgeous beads. They are real gemstones. I'm trying to make sure everybody can see all right. And so, in order for me to get an idea of what this bead actually size is, you can do it the same way I did the other. I'm going to put it right there. Whoops. Of course it's going to fall off. Sorry about that, folks. And put the bead in here like that. So let me see if I can get this. There we go. 0.67 of an inch is what these are. So these are considered then a 6 millimeter bead, folks, because it's 0.67. It's a 6 millimeter bead. But this thing really comes in handy, especially if you're doing any detailed work and you need to know what size your beads and your cabochons are. And also, people want to know when they're purchasing something, you know, it looks like a big cabochon. How big is it, you know? So you can tell them how big the cabochon is. Okay, so we're going to get to work in here. I'm going to take this bracelet off so that I can start working this clay. And this clay, by the way, oh, and this is for Sherry especially, everybody else can listen too. These feel like metal marbles. They are not. They are hematite. And they are from the earth. They're amazing. You can buy ones that are magnetic, but these are actually just like beads for people to wear. I guess you know, punk. Okay, so we're using black primo here. And on this black primo, which is what I have mixed in there also, they also call it negro? Negro. I want to say that right so there's no misunderstandings. 275 for 30 minutes per 1/4 inch. So I know that my cabochons, 2 of them are at least a little bit bigger than way over 1/4 inch. So 2/4 of an inch. We'll see how they do. Anyway, I use this. I bought this. You can buy these at your local hardware store or your local feed store, depending on where you live. Can everybody hear me okay? Hi, Manisa. And just for those people coming in just now that can't see, over there in that oven is 1, 2, 3, 4 different cabochons, possibly 5. I can't remember now. And they are baking at 250 for 20 minutes. I'm going to check them and see how they are, see how they're doing, because I want to make sure that they don't burn. And I wrap them in tin foil, folks. Remember that if you're going to bake polymer clay in your oven, or you're using a toaster oven to be on the safe side, you need to make sure that you cover them in a tent, like a tent, aluminum foil tent, and use a piece of towel to cook them on. Mine is that's a stone towel, and this is a ceramic towel right here. Sorry. This is a ceramic towel. The one in the oven is a stone towel. I use this because it's smooth and easy to work on. So it really does help. I normally have razors to cut my clay with. I am using a knife because I don't have a razor right now. My tissue razors are normally what you use to cut your clay, but this will work. Don't let anyone tell you you got to have fancy tools, because you really don't. There might be some things you want, but it's absolutely not necessary to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to work with clay or anything else. Your main prime is getting your clay and what you like, and trying to get a quality clay. Clay. Anyway, Cernet is one of the best. It really is. Sculpey is good. It's the workhorse. Sculpey and Primo are workhorses of the clay. So, and this one's a souffle. It depends on how it is. And I'm going to show you a couple other things too. I have some powders. We're going to try some mixtures here. We're going to do a powder, and we're going to do the vintage metallic gold. And we're going to mix it into the clay so that we can create this look for the cabochon. And then, I don't know how much I'm going to get all this done, but we're going to do it. And I also, just so you know, there's not only Primo, and no, I'm not sponsored. There's also Sculpey. Depending on when it came out, this is Primo Sculpey, and then this is Sculpey Primo. Little twist on the words, but they're the same clay, folks. You also can use paints. I like using some of these color shift paints on my cabs. Also, because the color changes. Almost like a labradorite. How many people in this room know what labradorite is? Thank you so much. Sure, you're so sweet. Thank you for the taps and the 2K. Hi, Kathy Larson. Welcome in. Okay. So, labradorite, darn it, I should have brought it in here. I have it in another container out there. Is a green stone, and it flashes blue and gold. It's amazing. Now, this is not going to flash blue and gold unless you use that. So this is going to flash more of a purple metallic, and it's going to be gorgeous. And so is this. And these, by the way, I use these in my airbrush too when I paint. Of course, I use flatter ones in different colors, but these can be used just about for everything. So these are folk art, and you can also buy less expensive ones in like Walmart. I'm not a sponsor of Walmart, but this one's violet flash, and this one is metallic finish acrylic paint. So they're both acrylic, but they're different types, and so they show up differently. Even though this is a metallic, this one is a metallic with a gloss finish. Anyway, so I am waiting on my cabs to do well. Let's hope they do. I haven't used this oven in a while. If you're a fancy cabochon maker and you like the better clays, which would be Fimo, and Cernet are some of the best clays, but they're expensive, so I'm just warning you. You're better off to stick with the Primo, the Cato. Cato has an odor, by the way, Primo doesn't, but it'll save you money, and when you're first starting out, that's what you want to do. You want to save money. You don't want to spend everything you own. So let me work on this. I'm going to try a combination of things, so we're going to see what happens. I'm going to do one with gold and the green here. Green purple this is. These are Pearl X, by the way, and you can buy them in sets. I also have, let me show you. I got so much stuff I want to show everybody. I guess I won't be able to do it in every video all at one time, but you get that way because you want people to see what they can get. get over here. I'm trying not to hit my camera. I think I showed these the other night. Sherry, she usually talks. So these are Luminaire. They're alcohol inks, folks. Metallic and pearlescent colors. And you can use them on just about anything. And that includes polymer clay, folks. Don't let them tell you can't. So a lot of times I say if you're going to paint it, don't put the paint on until after you bake the cab. But if you're going to use powders and waxes, then you kind of want to put it into it while you're making it, which means to put the metallic or the green into it. I'm rolling this in a snake, sorta, because I am going to create, I'm going to create a cab with a edge on it, which should look really nice. Cabochon, correct. What's Cabochons? What on earth is that? I don't even know if I said that, but okay. I can pronounce it. It's spelling that French cabochon word every time when I need to. That's issue. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 pieces because I'm going to make this size. And put them together. So I'm working the clay, folks, is what I'm doing. I forget that I have to keep my hands up here and nobody can see what I'm doing. Are you guys able to even see what I'm doing on the table? Yeah, okay. Maybe a little further back and a little further up. There we go. Is that better? Okay. Awesome. Okay, yes. Also, to let people know, if you decide, it's up to you, but you can. These are actually pretty inexpensive. These are dynamite beads, and they're purple. These are also gorgeous. These are glass seed beads. These are the only things that I put glass stuff in. Everything else is real gemstones. But you can add these beads to your clay and actually bake them. It's safe to bake with them, just to let you know. And luckily I found these. These are from my other stuff that I do in craft, but these make great what? I'll show you right away. I'm going to show you how to, we're making cabs. We're going to be adding gold, and we're going to also be adding this, which is a Pearl-X green purple to the cabochon clay. So I'm going to show you something. We're going to cut this little snake here that I made out of clay. And I learned this from a very experienced clay person, how to do this. You get a much more even roll. You can do it with your hands. I also have a machine that puts out the little strings somewhere and makes the, like, it looks like pasta noodles, but it's not. It's clay. So by using this square here, which you can find these at, like, I don't know, are they still open? Some of the sewing shops, because that's what it's for. But this makes great for polymer clay too, so that you can make sure that you roll out your even little snake And you'll get to see what I'm going to do with this in the end. So that makes a very nice little string. Kind of cool how it works. And then we're going to do this one because I'm going to be doing more than one. These are actually going to go, I'm going to make a cab here, okay? This is going to be a cabochon. And then I'm going to use these to go around the edge of it. I'm thinking about doing 3 of them. Does anybody want to see it braided? Because it can be braided around the cab and then baked. This makes it so much faster than your hands. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing different amounts because it's going to be different, small, medium to large. Okay, I put me back in here. This thing says violation. It says end live now to avoid suspension. For what? Did somebody report me for something? Sherry, did you hear what I said? What is this? Why did you block the notification? Oh, okay. I got you. I don't know. Like, I don't understand that stuff. Oh, they're a scam. Wow. I'm learning new stuff every day. That's why all my stuff usually stays up on the YT and not too much down here, because there's so many crazy rules down here. Okay, guys. Did you hear that ding in the background? Well, that's those Polymer Clay Cabochons that I made, and we're going to get them out. I'm going to try not to burn myself because I didn't bring a heat pad in here. So, okay, folks, we're working on Polymer Clay Cabochons. We are going to do several different techniques, and I also showed everyone how to use that caliber so you can see the size of your cabochons, and not only the size of those, but your beads. Can everybody see? I'm trying to make it where you guys can see the oven over here. The little oven. It's not a Susie oven, it's a toaster oven, folks. Well, I've got to get this way so I can see, so that I can get it on the toaster oven. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Should be right there. Can everybody see the toaster oven or not? It's in the back here, right here. I got stuff in the way. Right there. Sort of, not really. Okay, so all I can see is words on the screen, so that's why I'm asking. Like, it's kind of got me blocked from seeing anything. Okay. That's not it. Oh, there it is. The arm's in the way. I'm sorry, folks. There we go. There's the toaster oven, right back there. Okay. You can't see it lit up now because it went off. Let's see how those cabs did and if they're ready. I set it for 20 minutes at 250. Which they're going to have to cool off anyway before I can handle them. So we'll still be working on the cabs that we're working on here and the new other creations. Clay. I pray to God they're okay. I haven't used this in a long time, folks. I'm going to lift this up, which means lift this off the tin foil, off the cabochons. Whoa. Wow. Yes, I do believe they're done, but they are rather warm. So close this door. I'm going to use my art tablet here. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. Not enough room. Never enough room. Okay. So they're kind of dull looking, but they will not be. Trust me, it's going to be awesome. All right. Is the fan too loud, Sherry? Is the fan overriding my voice? Because it's really hot in here. And I'm cheap. I don't want to turn the air conditioner on yet. Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? Sherry Palmer is also a moderator for the room. She's an awesome person. Don't forget to go and check her out. She's amazing. And see, if I didn't have her in here tonight, I would have not known that that was a scam on my screen. Okay. All right, back to me. Why is that there? Yeah, they actually came out really well. Welcome in, Jeffrey. Welcome in, everybody. Sherry's going to be doing a lot of the welcoming in, and I apologize. So if you can, everybody make sure you heart me and tap the screen. It really helps. I'm going to try to get these. This thing is hot, though, I'm going to tell you. So always be careful because the cabs are really hot. I am moving this out of the way because this has now become an eyesore. Okay, so the cabs look like this, and they are freaking warm, folks. Woo! They are definitely not touchy, bull. So I'm just turning them over to kind of get that heat through this here. That's why I use the stone one there. Can everybody see that? There. That's them out of the oven, and I flipped them, and they are really hot, folks. I mean hot. Whew. They are dull looking right now. This is the way they look when they come out of the oven, folks. They do not look shiny, so you have to add certain things to get that shine. Either resin or you sand them. They can be sanded too, and they will get a polish. So if you don't have resin or you don't have Mod Podge, you can sand them, which is a little bit of work, but there are people that do it, so it just depends, you know, and it saves you money too. And they're going to be awesome when they get done. I promise you, they're going to look great. So in the meantime, while those cabs are over there cooling off, I am going to continue to work on this because I want to make another. Oh, I need to show you guys. I'm just talking away and pointing, and nobody can see anything. Sorry, my hand got in the way. Okay. Okay, so we're going to be using. See, I can't see anything. That's why I'm. Let's try this. Okay. Don't look at the mess in the back. That's just a bookshelf. And the toaster oven, which is very makeshift. I put it on a bookshelf in here so I'd be able to use it tonight. So in the meantime, I'm getting ready to push this in here so that we can make a black cab. In fact, I'm going to put in this one because this one's a little bit bigger. And I should be able to tell you folks, like you should be able to measure these. I don't have the paperwork in here to my thing. And I buy these, by the way. If you go to Polymer Clay, I am not a paid advertiser, but she will give me credit in her store. Her name is Trish. She's amazing. She sells all these molds that are for polymer clay, plus she has a lot of other products there that are pretty awesome, and she is out of Texas, by the way. She's really nice. Her stuff is awesome. Definitely someone you can trust for quality molds and paints and waxes and everything else, and powders and even tools. I think she carries tools now. I don't want to swear to it, so I don't want to tell a lie. It's been a while because I had bought all my stuff. Now, I have a roller, by the way, folks, but I'm using a Sharpie here. Like I said, you don't have to have a bunch of expensive tools. Just do this. There we go. And then I'm going to use my knife here, because we're going to cut around this edge. Now you may see this looking like it's square, but it's not going to be once I pull it out. I'm just using this, sorry my hands are in the way, to get the extra clay off the edge. Normally I use a razor knife, and I do have one here. It's the light here on the desk is blinding me, and I have no idea where I put it. Ah, there we go. I hope I didn't lay it away. So we're shaping this. To get it the right shape in this cab. And the reason I'm using black, by the way, black looks really good. Also, black what is very good for putting colors on. Makes it really pop. There we go. Can everybody see what I'm doing? I'm actually cutting the edge off this cab. It's one like this, only it's smaller. A second. All right, Jim, you got number two gifter badge. Welcome, thank you. Awesome. I'm going to get you back here on the mold here that I'm using to make the cabochons out of, which maybe these are, I don't know, these are still pretty warm, folks. Kind of burn your hand warm, see? I just dropped it because it's so hot. Okay, give me a second here. Lord. That's what I get for trying to pick it up too soon. Okay, it's hot. That is baked, fully baked, and they are always what? Remember, they are always dull when they first come out of the oven, so don't freak out. It's cooling off faster. They are always dull, folks. You can, in fact, let me try this while I'm still working on this. We're gonna multitask, as they call it here. Yeah. And you can use inexpensive, or you can use sandpaper. These are just emery boards, and I'm going to show you how to sand this little one right here, and so you can see the polish. I hate sanding. Most people that do the polymer art don't like sanding unless they're using their Dremel, and I don't know where mine is right now. Otherwise you got to do it by hand. Okay, so we're going to take this. I'm going to start here. Here, I want to use the rougher one. I'm doing this so you guys can see this. It's a little hard to hold. Normally I use a Dremel. I don't normally do these by hand. But I'm going to show you that you can polish these by sanding them. And then you don't have to use resin or Mod Podge, but it's a lot more work. Alright, now where's my water? I'm going to put a little water on here. Now you know what the water's for. And then we're going to wipe it off. Still going to need, see, it takes quite a bit of sanding. That's why I use resin, because it's a lot of work to sand to get it shiny. Okay. More water. And I noticed something too. Just barely, it's a color discretion, but you can get bubbles in your polymer clay, but that is not a bubble, just to let you know. This is totally baked hard, just so you know. Okay, just so you can see the difference. It may not look like it, but it actually is smoother than this. But like I said, most of us don't like sanding because it's too hard. It's easier to use the resin or Mod Podge to get the shine on it. Cool. I'm so glad. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the likes, shares, taps, and I appreciate anybody helping me reach my goal. If you're not able to, don't worry about it. Just heart me if you can. It'd be great. And tap the screen. I'm here to teach you how to do some polymer clay cabs. Hopefully pretty easy. And these are usually pretty easy to pop these out of your thing. You just push from the back like that, and she's out. I now have a black cab, and I'm going to cut off the edges on here. Welcome in, everybody. I can't take any boxes tonight because of what I'm doing. Hopefully everybody can see what I'm doing. I'm getting ready to trying to move this up a little. If I move it up too far, I'm going to move it out of the scope of the screen. Welcome in, Linda, everybody. Thank you so much, Sherry, for all your help. Sherry is not only an awesome person and creator, she's also a creator teacher. And you should follow her. She's amazing. She will help you to become a greater creator and a greater person to work here on TikTok. what I'm doing right now is trying to take off this edge. Then I'm going to take my finger here. I'm also going to put a little water on here. You can use rubbing alcohol if you want on your polymer clay if you need to really get it to pull away the clay. But I don't like using alcohol ink because it takes a lot from it, and the water, it does a little bit easier. It's not as fast, but it's safer. Keeps your shape for your cabochon. So what we're going to end up doing is putting some gold. I'm going to do gold on here. All right. What did I do? Okay. And then after I get done with that one, we're going to work on this one that came out of the oven. Kind of a groovy background there. Alright, now let's see if I can tell you how big this cabochon is, because that will tell you what size this actually is on this mold. And when you're wire wrapping too, a lot of times it's important to know what size cab you have. I do other type, I do teardrop cabs too, not just oval. Okay, so that's 0.16 of an inch. Then, if I do this, I'm trying to be careful because this cab is soft clay right now. That is 0.6 of thickness. See there? I just made a mark in it. So, okay. I'll just stick it back in here. If you do have that problem, you can just put it back in your mold so that it'll pull it back out. We're going to try to make a faux onyx out of this with some, I'm going to do some gold in it, though onyx doesn't have gold in it. I'm going to do some gold in it and green. So we'll just call it a fantasy cabochon. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to I'm doing some of this gold on here before I bake this one. Whoa. Everybody see that all right? I need that. See where it got that little bubble in it? There we go. Just trying to smooth that out. Oops. It's work, but I can tell you in the end result that they're going to be gorgeous. Put my hand out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, this is a metal Q, and it is vintage gold. So it's not like shiny gold. It's vintage gold, like sort of like maybe antique gold, only without the rose in it. Everybody knows that rose gold, I hope, is got copper in it, that it's not a true 100% gold. Rose gold, real gold, rose gold has copper in it. Okay. Now, next. This has been open, it's just that I am very careful with my stuff, keeping it closed. So we're going to take this little string here, because this string is going to go around this cabochon. But I'm using the top off my metallic one here because I was trying to, because this stuff is actually pretty, it's expensive when I buy it in the 12 to 14 range. So we're doing a metallic, this is called the color is where's my color? Of course this is jacquard too, by the way, just like the paint was, which is one of the better ones. It's green purple. It's made in the US. It's non-toxic, so if you're concerned about getting it on your hands or that you might get sick from it, you won't. And it is made in the USA, so we don't have to worry about tariffs. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for everybody who's supporting me here tonight, and especially thank you to Sherry, who's basically having to control the room and be able to watch, which I really appreciate because I couldn't do it without her. She's amazing. Okay, let me see. I might need just a little bit more on here. I don't know if you noticed, but this looks like a green, but when it goes on here, it's turning a purple, like a purple metallic halo green. Okay, so now we're going to put that there. It is all over my hands. And like I said, none of this stuff is toxic, unless you got super sensitive, and I have allergies and everything else, but this is pretty safe. Okay, so I'm getting ready to I'm going to take this, right, and start at this end and press it down. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way. It's kind of hard. I'm going to make this edge on this cabochon. Then I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see this. Let's see if I can get this to lift up since I don't have my razor things here. Maybe I can turn it this way. Oh, okay. So we're going to turn it around like this. We're going to press that down some more. So we want that to, sorry about that. We want that to stick to this as much as possible. Well, it broke. I normally cut it. So I'm going to lay that back down. You sort of, press it into the clay. Yeah, if I can get it to stay. Let me try a little water here. You can use, there is liquid clay out there, folks, you can use on it to seal it. I do have some, but I don't know where it is tonight. But water will work. Whoa. Sorry my hands are in the way. It's kind of hard to make it where you guys can actually see while I'm getting this done. Okay, come on now. All right. And if you do have an issue in the end, once you bake this, folks, once it's completely baked though, okay, and you're done, if that string comes off and you don't have the liquid clay to do it, you can actually use E6000. That's after it's baked, okay? You don't want to bake this, okay? E6000 is not for baking. But you can use it to seal that little rope. Wow. One thing I noticed there, I guess if you're going to learn, might as well learn all the mistakes too. Like I have a little crack here. See that crack there? So I actually move that and move this into there. There we go. And you can use this to smooth it. Let's see. There's my other tool. And these are really handy, folks, if you're doing a lot of clay work. These little ball end tools. I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way to show you too. Just sort of roll that over it. And that will make the clay join together. Can y'all see this? I'm trying to hold it up here where you can see it. And I can't see because the light is blinding me. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, I mean, stuff does happen. Clay is clay, and I mean, you can go out and cern it and Fimo and all that, and you can spend $200 or $300 on that clay and still have the same issues. So don't think because we're using Kato and Primo and Sculpey that the other clays are not just as guilty of it, because they are. Okay, so I might put a little more gold on there. I'm not sure. I want that more flat than what it is, but it was supposed to have been a rope, like a rope around here. But I had to flatten it a little bit there in order for it to stay on. So let's try a little more gold. So this is vintage gold. It will look really nice when it comes out, and then of course when we seal it too with the either Mod Podge or resin. I like doing resin, but I can do one of each so everybody will be able to see how that works. Okay, so this is how this looks right now. Hopefully it's going to stay on there because I need it to stay up. But like I said, if it doesn't stay up there, folks, at the end of the baking, you can just take some E61000 and glue it on there. So I'm going to put that over here now. That's going on this so that it can bake. Oops, let me move this. That way you guys can see that too, as I'm knocking everything else over. Can you guys see that? Okay, hopefully you can, because I can't see the screen to even know. Okay. So how's everybody doing tonight? Oops, I didn't have that ball thing fall on my foot. Sorry about that. Glad to see everyone here. Thank you, Sherry, so much. Welcome in, folks. We're doing polymer clay cabochons tonight, and I was showing different ways of how I'm doing them, and I also showed how I already baked all these cabs, except for this new one right here, which is Metallica. It's Metallic Q, Vintage Gold, and then of course the blue halo, which looks like it's green, but when it goes on, it turns like a purple around there, and I did a ring on that. And I showed how to roll out this, so it would be easy to make the little rolls. And also, you can do some other cool stuff too, if you want to add to your thing. You can take your clay here. This takes a little working and patience. I'm going to cut this a little bit here because it's too long. And I'm going to show you how to make a swirly cue, and we're going to put it on top of that cabochon that we just made. Maybe in the middle. Okay. So, I don't want it too big anyway. And maybe we'll do this. I think we'll use this instead because that's the color theme we're going with. Can everybody see that? Okay. That should roll for me. It could be because it's kind of cold in here. Even though I'm burning up, it's cold. So I'm going to try it this way. There we go. Well, I wanted that to roll even smaller, but it may not. Sorry if my fingers and hands are in the way. I'm trying to make this so you can see this. This is actually going to go in the center of this cab. That'll work. Come on now. Wow. There's my other little brick here I was using. There we go. Welcome in, everybody. How's everybody doing? Okay. I don't know why, but it seems to be crumbly, and this clay isn't old either. It's, for whatever reason, it's crumbling. try this. Okay. Nope. Alright, try this instead. Sorry if my hands are in the way. We're just giving this some more texture and look. Okay, so that just gives it a little more texture and look, and I think it'll look great once it gets sealed. Really give it some depth. Trying to show this. It will give it some depth to the cabochon, and it'll look like glass when we use the other. Lots of art tips, yeah. Well, if you like jewelry, men or women, like polymer clay is not the most cheapest, but it's not the most expensive either. Just depends on how much time the artist spends to create them and what they do with them, and the materials they use and how much it costs them to make them. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. We're just going to call this, I don't know, a stripe. Okay, so now here is the cabochon that's done. The one that has the really cool background, if I don't keep dropping them. Which I like this, but we can actually bake this again, and we can add, and I may do that, we may add another back to this so that it doesn't have this gap in it. But she's done. You can hear how she sounds. That's not gonna break. That's really sturdy. I know I read a lot of crap online, folks. You'll find stuff even on Google, some of it outdated, saying, oh, well, if you don't use Cernit, or you don't use Cynit, or you don't use Filamo, your clay cabochons more likely are to break and crack. I'm telling you, they won't. You could use this upside the wall. It's not going to break or crack. When you're going to have your damage is right when you're doing it, when you're creating it right away. So I like the black and red. It's sort of a Halloween-y thing. And you can tell it's been baked because I'm using a really sharp razor, by the way, folks, which means normal hands cannot break that off. Yeah. Sorry, I have to go down here again because I dropped the tab I was cut. Okay. All right. So I'm using this razor here. I do not know where my Dremel is, folks. I just moved into this place 3 months ago, and I have still not found everything. So I am cleaning off the edges. And then I'm going to run a file on this, and I may put an edge on this too. And you can see where there's a dent there, but that's because it caught the way I pulled it off. So I'm just trying to do it so fast is part of the problem. Just hold that tight in your hand. This has already been baked for 20 minutes at 275 degrees. This is Primo Sculpey Black and Cato, and Cato Red. So I have a mixture, so I had to guess. I said 20 minutes. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4 cabochons, different sizes, in the little toaster oven. Any questions, anybody? I'll try and answer them while I'm doing this. What, do a collab or a cab? I don't know. Thank you. So if you do have any questions, just let me know and I will try and answer them. So I'm going to now, I don't want to, see, I want to do one of these so that I can finish one of them with the, we're either going to use paint or we're going to what? Now we use paint, it'll take time to dry. But if I use resin, it'll take 5, maybe 10 minutes in the lamp to get it to do it. So here's my predicament, folks. Here's my UV resin with no cap. This is what I get for people in my church and my friends helping me move. So I'm going to actually take some of that and pour it out. Gently, but I'm going to use, like I'm going to do it, by the way, folks, there's going to be another one of these and it's coming up after Sunday. I just ordered 2-part resin, by the way, instead of just this, which takes 48 to 78 hours, but you get a lot more resin and you can color it and you can add flowers to it and everything, folks. So this is the resin I'm using right now, UV hard resin. And I'm going to pour some in here in this little red shot cup. These are great for mixing the 2-part resin too, by the way, folks. Thank you for welcoming everybody in, Sherry. I really appreciate it. Welcome in, folks. Organic Silver Moon Designs, which you should see that when you come in here. Now we're going to take this off the top. Let's see here. Well, maybe I'm going to use a little knife because I don't want to get, this knife doesn't have any polymer clay, so I don't want to get any clay down in the resin. I'm just doing a small hole back, that way it keeps the majority of it covered. And this is not 2-part, by the way. So we're going to pour this in here, then we're going to set this little cab on something like this while I pour it, and then we're going to put it in the little resin. I mean, it actually is a oven, a UV oven, but it's used for making, when people do gel nails, but that's what you use it for. I'm doing this to be safe. You don't need to mix this or anything. Okay? It's UV hard resin, and we're going to use it to cover this small one here right now. That way I can get at least one resin for you. And maybe the black one, the little black one here. Let's see. Let me get my oven over here so you guys can see that. Like I have any room for anything else on this desk, as you can see. Okay. Also, there's Primo Red here, too, if you prefer Primo over Cato. Some people don't care for Cato because it does have a bit of an odor, but it's not that bad. It won't kill you. Okay, and the other things I talked about, folks, Mod Podge, Gloss Luster, it's water-based glue, sealer, and finish. And I have 3 different styles of this, so I'm going to show you these too. I want to get that UV resin on soon because it will set up before I can get it done. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is Mod Podge Super Brilliant, and it's a 1-coat gloss finish. And this one is Super Gloss Sealy and Super Brilliant 1-coat gloss finish also. They look the same, but they are 2 different ones, including that one. So you kind of get an idea. I'm having to move this all so I can get this over here, by the way. And when I do this on YouTube, folks, I will be doing, on YT, because they don't like us saying this here, but it's for demonstration, I have to tell you. So when I do it there, I am not sponsored by this company, but I will put links to where you can get one of these, which is the oven. See there? 25, maybe less dollars to get one. Okay. Wow, luckily I put a big old plug under here, under my table. I'm trying to move as fast as I can because I do not want that resin to set up in the cup. Because folks, it will. It's UV resin. It can set up. Okay. Any questions, anyone? This will take 5 to 10 minutes, maybe less. And this is where the magic happens to make it look great. And if it comes out cloudy on you or something, or it's not as shiny or clear as you'd like, go back and add another layer of resin. I wish I could do it all tonight for you folks and show you everything more than what I'm teaching tonight, but I am teaching everything I can on a quick way so that you can learn. Get this plugged in down here. Okay, now I'm going to turn, this has a switch on it, by the way, now that you guys can't see anything. This oven, because I changed it's used spicy, and you can do a time start. Has a 120-second timer off, 180-second, and I am not sponsored. And here's a switch too, so you can see. All right, give me just a second here. I'm trying to get the light off the oven so you guys will be able to see this. There we go. There we go. Everybody see that? That's why I wanted higher up, because you're not going to be able to see it. Okay. That's what it looks like. And there's a tray that Usually there's a tray with this, and this is the tray. See, there we go. And that pulls out. And you just put your cabochon on that tray, like that, and slide it back in under that light. So I'm turning this light back on because I got to be able to see what I'm doing, because we're getting ready to resin this small cab here and the other cab. So most resins, like 2 parts and stuff, level off, and they level off at the top. You can use, a lot of times I'll use toothpicks to spread the resin on the cab once it's on there. You can use a brush, but it can sometimes show brush marks, so just saying, and your brush is ruined, so don't expect to use it for anything else. Okay, can you guys, I need you to be able to see. I'm going to turn that light off. How do I get that off now? There we go. Because that light is blinding us too. Okay. Try this. I'm going to turn this. Can everybody see this here? This is my small cabochon that's already cooked and hard. And we're going to take this little shot cup and we're going to literally pour the resin over the cabochon. Normally I do it with a toothpick and I use a little squeeze thing, but the top is missing to my resin because I just moved here. It's probably fell out in a bag or a box. Alright folks, here we go. Here comes the resin. My cat has decided she's going to get up and help. Nope, no help, Star. Okay. I don't have a toothpick, but I'm going to show you that I'm going to move the resin, the UV resin, around on this. See there? You don't need a lot, folks, because you can move it. Normally I use a toothpick, so I'm just telling you, use a toothpick if you can. And wear gloves. Don't be me. Wear a pair of plastic gloves. They're cheap enough, you can buy the throwaway ones. What I'm doing is I'm leveling this off because this is a UV resin. This is not a 2-part, so this requires you to move the resin. Whereas a UV and gas leveling resin, which is 2-part, will level itself. Okay. I'm having to lean down here. If I'm in anybody's way, I'm sorry. We are spreading the UV resin over the cabochon that was just baked and made tonight. I call it a red black leopard, this one. I'm going to put a little more resin on here. Well, and that one a little bit overcooked board is exactly why you don't want to do that. But that's okay, because I will cure this and I'm going to actually move this piece on here. Like this. See the difference in that look, folks? Can you tell? Can everybody tell how shiny that is? Can everybody see that? I'm going to pull this over here because I can't see anything. Okay, awesome. So this is what we're trying to do. We want that shine. There's still some more UV stuff on here, and I'm going to use this off here not to waste it. Because this UV resin's it's expensive. We'll put it that way. Okay, so we're going to do this one for the moment. I'm going to pull this tray out from the U Spicy. And folks, you can get these at Amazon and everywhere. But I'm going to put a link in on my YT channel. Because I'll be doing another video that's going up there. That won't be live though. Okay, normally I put these in the center, but since I put it off to the side, we're going to leave it like that. You can put this, by the way, folks, you can put that cabochon right on that thing. I just don't, because then I have to clean it off if it sticks. Okay, so I am setting the back. Ow, there goes my foot. Okay. Turning on the light, and she's set. And I don't know how well can you guys see in this oven. I'm trying to make it so you can see. Whoa. Could everybody see that? Moving the cord here. There we go. Welcome in, everybody. You couldn't see that, Sherry? Here. You can't see that cabochon in there? That little bitty cabochon? Yeah, I'm having to move you like crazy. Right there. Sitting in the back. With the light on. Alright, now I'm going to move you like crazy again. Now, could you see that? Yeah, that's what I was showing you, that it was inside the little oven. And it's not really an oven, it's a UV light like oven is what it is. So there's a big difference. Alright. I need to check something. It's in my way. Okay. TikTok shop, 109 diamonds. 42 cents. 2 new followers. 1 gifter. Thank you for whoever gave me the gifts. I really appreciate it. So I started this at like 8:12. So 9:12 would be an hour. 10:12 will be 2 hours. So I'm hoping, I want to get this so you guys can see it done. Like, I want you to be able to see this. See, there's resin coming here. And I could go ahead and resin this other one, because I still have a little resin in here. So I'm going to... Look, I just got resin on this, and I'm just rubbing it. Look at that. It's already shiny, so that's got to be redone. But I'm going to use this. Whoops, hang on guys, sorry. I forget, I get to talking and trying to show people stuff, and then I don't show them what I'm supposed to be showing them. So forgive me. Okay, can everybody see this red cab right here? All I can see is people talking in front of me, so I need to know if you can see the cab sitting on this. Good, because the words are up and I can't see if people are able to see. Okay, so I'm taking this right now, this little cup of this, which is resin. I don't know how well you can see the resin in the cup because the cup is white, folks. Okay, so we're going to, oops, you know what? I got to turn that on again. It went off. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Alright, so now, sorry about that, my light went off on my oven where it's setting to cure. Okay, so now I'm putting on the resin on this one. Can you still see this? I can see it through the thing, so okay. So here we go. Normally I use a 2-part resin. I'm just really going to town like crazy on this. I don't normally do this, but I want this to get covered. Do not do as I do. Okay. So that's all covered now. Now I'm going to move this, wow, onto a little piece of tin foil and square it. As you can see, it's sort of like snot. Sorry for that term, but that is the truth. Okay. I'm scraping the excess up off here. I should have put it on the piece of tin foil to begin with. Can you see now how shiny this is? Just like the other, it's kind of like glass. Can everybody see that? So, unless you want to spend hours and hours sanding your cabochons, my suggestion is to use, I use UV because it's quicker. But I like using 2-part because I can add stuff to it. Everything from flakes to, see, this is already starting to set on my towel. That's okay. I will get it off. It is UV resin, folks, so remember that. It will set in less than 5 or 10 minutes, but that is only like this. It'll set even faster under the light. So we're doing that right now, and I'm going to check the other one in a moment. And as I said, if you have any bubbles or you have non-clarity on it when you get done, you can just add more resin to the top of it and it will smooth it out. It's a really cool trick. It works. Any questions, anyone? While I try to scrape off the, the UV resin before it gets too hard, because it will never come off if I don't do it now. Thank you for your patience, everybody, and thank you for coming in here tonight. I hope you learned something. Also, I'll be doing some other Cabochon creations up on the YT too, not just here. But I wanted to do one here, maybe two here, because people need to know everywhere. I'm looking for something, because there's something I'm going to tell you. I hate that. When you're looking for something or something you want to tell someone, you can't remember it while you're teaching a class. So anyway, the other thing I told you was if you want to, you can bake glass seed beads in your cabochons that are polymer clay. They can be baked. Plastic ones, no. If you've got plastic, whatever, no. You cannot bake the plastic beads in your... So you need to make sure they're cabochon or they're real stones. Okay. Let's see it. That was at 9:52. We've only been 7 minutes, folks, for this oven. Now they say, depending on the thickness of it, we're going to look at the little one. Okay, let me see if I can get that one up. The big one's still there because it's still going. Wow. Okay, it's stuck. That's why I like using something. Hang on. This is done, by the way, folks. Look. That's done. And it puts like a glass sheen on it. Is that cool or what? Pretty cool. Sorry. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, Liam. So this was just a creation that was created this evening. I'm trying to get it off of here. Wow. Okay, let me just a second here, folks. Technical difficulties. There we go. Yay. Oh, now I'm going to turn it over. See? I'm going to turn it over. Put it like that because that side on the bottom, and that does happen, by the way, folks. The underneath will be sticky and wet because it didn't seal. Now let me find my other one here that I'm still working on too, this larger red cab. And I do notice some bubbles in here, but that's okay because I'm going to recover it. I know a lot of people go, oh, well, we popped the bubbles. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't have a lighter sitting here to even pop the bubbles. But you can use a lighter, by the way, to pop the bubbles in resin, just so you know. Hi, Cherry. Welcome in. Yeah, I think they're going to look pretty nice when I'm done. I will remember to use something always under the cabochon on here, even on this, because it's like it's on this tile here where I poured that all over. But this is a thin part, so it should come right up. So I am cleaning this off. It takes 5 to good, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes for the cab to set. And it already did on the other one. It didn't even take that long on that small one. But the bottom of it was sticky. I do advise wearing gloves, though. I really do advise you to wear gloves. And I use these. I have little clear ones too. They're like little throwaway shot cups, and they work great, especially even in 2-part resin. Because you've got to mix the hardener and the other together. Usually it's a bigger cup. You usually get it with your thing. You can use a plastic cup too. But these work when you only want to use a tiny bit of resin like I'm using on the smaller cabochons. Because you don't want to mix a big water glass or 16-ounce plastic glass with all that resin in it, because you'll be wasting your product, and I'm sure we're all not rich. So there you go. Any questions, anyone, while these are still, as I said, like, that's why, if you can see in here, I'm going to try to show you inside the, see that smaller cab? The bottom of it's sticky and still wet. So even though it cured on the top, the bottom did not cure. So I'm having to go back and put it under the light again. Alright, I gotta take a sip of soda, folks. So, Cherry, what are you up to tonight? I'm glad you stopped in. I'm glad you came in to see some of the polymer clay. This also is going to be set up and going up on my YT, my YouTube channel. And I am going to be doing another part. So this is part one of these polymer clabs like this, and doing the resin, which is doing it really all at once, because I added the resin, the UV resin, into this, because the cabs were the easiest part. It's the resin and stuff, the other things, and the shaping of the cabochons. Hi Australia, Thomas, welcome in. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. You've probably already seen that on the screen. I'm a jewelry and a canvas creator. This live will also be uploaded to my other channel, as I am trying to cure the 2 cabochons. Well, I actually made more than 2 tonight. I made like 3, 4, 5 cabochons, but we're only curing 2, and I baked the rest of them. And I have one here too. It's going to be pretty. When that resin gets on this, this is going to be gorgeous, with the metallic type purple powder, and then of course the vintage gold. It's going to be a gorgeous cabochon. It really is, once it's done. Okay. Welcome in, Pablo. How are you tonight? Welcome in, 71. Are you trying to hoist my moderator out of my room, Sherry? Cherry, I'm messing with you. Don't take everything so personally, honestly. I'm real easygoing. So tonight we used UV hard resin, which is in here curing right now, on 2 of the cabochons. There's a large red one I did, and then the smaller one. Wow. Look at that. I got a bump. See there? I got a bump because I turned it over. So remember what I told you about putting more resin on it? That's what I'll do. I'll put a drop more resin on it, on the top of it. Not a lot, because as you can see, it goes everywhere, because I don't have the little pointy top, which probably fell out in another box when everything got moved. And I don't have my toothpicks in here. So we're just going to add a little more UV resin to this small one. Not a lot, just a couple of drops, by the way. Enough to where I can hand hold this. which I don't recommend this to everyone. Come on now. I know maybe I didn't put enough drops in there. Actually, I could have done it this way. I don't know why I didn't. Okay. And this is not the tool to use for this, folks. There we go. Oops. Put that under there so it will dry shiny. And by the way, if you ever get it where it's cloudy too on a piece, if it looks cloudy or not clear, you just add more resin and it will clear it right up. Hi Angie, welcome in. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. I've been creating cabochons here tonight out of polymer clay using antique vintage gold and blue and purple metallic powder, which is made by the same company that does this. It's Lumina Jacquard, only it's a powder instead of a paint. Also, folks, if you don't know it, Renaissance wax, they use it in museums on paintings and stuff, but you can use it on jewelry. So you can use this on stainless steel, sterling silver, and it will help make sure that it doesn't turn. You can also put this on your cabochons because this is a wax. So you can actually take this. So instead of me using the, let me get this back over here. Instead of me using the resin, the UV resin as I've been using here, okay, we're going to use this. And it takes very little of this stuff. This stuff will last you probably until I'm no longer here. Sort of reminds me of the stuff you used to put on saddles years ago. So you're going to put this on here and rub it in on the cabochon. You do it on both sides. This actually just seals it and seals the coating in. This is already baked. It will not give a shine as much as the UV resin or two-part resin, folks. But it will work. Usually I use a buffer. I have a little thing that goes on my Dremel, and I buff these with this wax. Tonight I'm using my hands because that's all I got. So as you can see, it won't make it shiny, but what? It will seal it and it'll make it where that it'll be all right. But you can buff this and sand this and it will get shinier, I promise you. In fact, let me try. Let's see if I can do it. This stuff needs longer to dry though, but I'm using a nail file. I normally use my Dremel or a piece of sandpaper. And we're just sanding this out. It also, by the way, kind of waterproofs it, that Renaissance wax. Let's see if I can find, there we go. I'll use this as a cloth to rub this. Like I said, normally I buff this. Okay, as you can see, there is some shine coming out of that. Not a lot, but there is some. Of course, it's not going to look the same as resin, folks, but you can use the other products. And this also seals jewelry. It's about, I don't know what it costs now. This was like $18 back then when I bought it. I've now had this for about 2 years, and look how much I've used out of it. This stuff will last forever. Okay, so we're going to check on those cabochons now. Because we're 1 minute, well, we're 2 minutes over the 2-hour limit here tonight. All right, folks. Can everybody see that? I want to put another bottom on this one here, as I told you before when I was doing this. I want to put a black bottom on this, but you can see how shiny that is. And here's the other cabochon all done, ready to wrap, and then I will of course sand off the edges here. But I'm going to put it under there because they're still a little bit sticky, folks. I'm not going to lie, they're still a little bit sticky. It's only been 12 minutes, so about 15-20 minutes even on that. All right, so like, it's been totally awesome. Has everybody enjoyed this or not? Hey, Faith, you just came in on the end. Thank you for liking the live. You're awesome. So I've been on here since 8:12. So over 2 hours and 4 minutes. Hi, Debbie Thompson. I will be also uploading this to my YT channel, so for all my YouTubers and my TikTok family, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming here tonight to learn how to sand, polish, bake, and finish your cabochons. This is only part 1, folks, because we still have to wrap these, and they still have to be put on a necklace or a ring mount that I will create. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Sherry, for coming in here and taking over and making things even better than what they could be, because I haven't been able to see the screen all night, folks. And thank you, Faith. I appreciate everybody who came in, and Apple too, wherever she went. So thank you, everybody, for coming in. Thank you so much. I love you too, Sherry. You're amazing. So I'm going to close it down, and we're going to have more videos because this is only part 1, and we're going to make sure that we can learn how to do these cabochons correctly. There's a lot of tricks to doing them, but there's a lot of fun. And when I get that other cabochon, which is going to be in part 2, everyone from TikTok to YouTube, this one will be in part 2. Let me get this over here where you can see this. Which is the one with the metallic hue, vintage gold, and halo blue powder, which changed to purple on this cabochon. Look how gorgeous that made the back of that. And that was just black clay. So it's amazing what you can do. And this is going to be baked and shined and put on a chain, and it will be in part 2. All right, folks, thank you so much for coming in. Again, Organic Silver Moon Designs, it's been a pleasure. I hope to see you again. I hope everybody really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Faith. Come on up and see me on the YT, Faith. I'll be doing more up there, and you can see exactly what I'm doing. All right, thank you, Sherry, so much for being here and watching out and being my guardian of the room. She's been great, folks. Don't forget to check Sherry out. She's an amazing teacher and author. Go and check everything out she has, from TikTok to the YT. She's amazing. All right, good night, everybody. Good night, Sherry. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, everybody who came in. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate all the help. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the perfume. Awesome, awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. All right, guys. Good night for now. Thank you for coming here, and be ready for part 2. It will not only be here, but it'll be on the YT, and I'm possibly going to be out on Kick also. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming here and sharing your time with me. Mixed media artist Lydia, Organic Silver Moon Designs, jewelry and canvas artist. Good night, folks.